Today on Bridge City News, police continue to investigate a shooting at Naval Air Station Pensacola in Florida, where 3 people were shot dead. A U.S. official says the gunman had hosted a dinner party earlier in the week to watch videos of mass shootings. Despite the recent violence in downtown Lethbridge, shoppers and local business owners are trying to keep a positive outlook. And demonstrators in Paris clashed with police today as nationwide strikes take place to protest the government's retirement reform plans.
Your nation, your province, your southern Alberta. From the heart of Lethbridge, it's Bridge City News with Paul Arthur.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. It has been a busy few days for Lethbridge police dealing with outbreaks of violence. On Thursday afternoon, a police officer was assaulted while arresting a man for allegedly stealing a cell phone near the downtown library. The officer sustained minor injuries in the scuffle. And late Thursday night, a 16-year-old boy had to be airlifted to Calgary after being stabbed in an alleyway in the 200 block of Mayor McGrath Drive North. He is now in stable condition. 11 people have been arrested in connection with that stabbing. And Friday morning around 8:30, police were called to Galt Gardens, where a 37-year-old man was seriously injured after being attacked. He remains in hospital. One suspect has been arrested, and police are asking anyone with information on this assault to contact them. Of course, life goes on in Lethbridge, with shoppers looking for Christmas gifts and local businesses hoping this year's increase in crime won't drive away customers. We asked some downtown business owners how the recent violence has affected business and if the city initiatives such as this week's Plaid Days has helped increase traffic.
I don't really think the violence and all the talk, I don't think it's warranted. It's everywhere in Lethbridge. It's not just downtown. Downtown is perfectly safe. I'll walk here even in the dark to go get my vehicle every night. It's just never been a problem for me.
I think it's a negative perception at the moment, but I would like to change that. As a person who spends a lot of time downtown and a person who walks downtown a lot, I'd say that it's as safe as it has ever been, if not even safer.
We haven't seen a decrease in traffic because of the downtown violence. Actually, our store does pretty good, and we do good encouraging all the other stores to work as a community together. And we've seen a lot more traffic from that too.
Absolutely. Everything helps. We've had a couple evening shopping things for the children. We're going to have one another next week, Thursday. We're going to have another late night shopping for the kids and for the adults. It all helps. It brings people down. People are excited for that, and they love coming after hours. And we give hot chocolate and cookies, and who doesn't like that?
It has been very successful for us. We've promoted it, and we are finding a lot of people coming in. Yesterday we stayed open till 9, and I had something like 30 people come in, which for me is huge.
I believe we have a pretty steady clientele, and the days don't really increase or decrease traffic at all.
People living in the small community of Rochefort Bridge, Alberta, are grieving the loss of 2 adults and 3 children in a house fire. No names have been released, but resident Michelle Trudzik says it was a family that died in Thursday afternoon's fire. She says it's devastating and that everyone is trying to wrap their head around what happened and why. The cause of the fire remains under investigation, although police say so far it does not appear to be suspicious. RCMP have charged 2 men from Grand Prairie, Alberta with several counterfeiting offenses, as well as theft and assault. Police say the suspects were arrested Thursday outside a residence in nearby Wembley. They say officers seized over $2,600 in counterfeit U.S. currency, $50 in Canadian money, and a stolen truck containing sheets of uncut counterfeit American currency and several stolen Alberta license plates. A search of the residence led to the seizure of printers and $1,300 in counterfeit U.S. dollars. Nova Scotia says it's taking further steps to tighten vaping rules by banning the sale of flavored cannabis vaping products when they become available in the new year. The province says regulations are being prepared to prohibit the sale of cannabis vaping products that have a scent or flavor other than cannabis noticeable before or during use. Packaging and labeling will also be prohibited from mentioning a flavor other than cannabis. Health Minister Randy DeLaury has already announced a ban of flavored e-cigarettes and juices to take effect April 1st. The sister of a woman killed in the massacre at Montreal's École Polytechnique says it's still important to remember 30 years later. Catherine Bergeron's sister Genevieve was one of the 14 victims of the anti-feminist attack on December 6, 1989. She says those who commemorated Canada's worst mass shooting have turned tragedy into a triumph of the human spirit. 14 beams of light were projected over the Montreal skyline yesterday evening as the names of the 14 women were read aloud.
Society cannot just undo the outrage of unjust death, but we can transcend the pain and create a world that reflects our aspirations while it brings us together. The lights that shine over Canada today are lit for you and in your names and memory.
We will continue to move forward together. We will raise our daughters to be anything they want to be and to be free from fear. We will raise our sons to be allies and to be feminists. And we will keep fighting every day for a better world.
Geneviève Bergeron.
Hélène Colgan.
Meanwhile, a Montreal man in his 70s, who police say glorified the gunman behind the 1989 massacre, is being held in custody pending a bail hearing on Monday. Jean-Claude Rochefort appeared in court yesterday to answer charges of inciting hatred towards women. Investigators have linked him to what they describe as disturbing writing published under a pseudonym on a hateful anti-feminist blog. Police continue to investigate a shooting in a classroom at Naval Air Station Pensacola in Florida. The Saudi Arabian aviation student who killed 3 people yesterday morning and injured 8 others has been identified as Second Lieutenant Mohammed Saeed al-Shamrani. A U.S. official speaking on condition of anonymity says al-Shamrani had hosted a dinner party earlier in the week to watch videos of mass shootings. Witnesses say several other Saudi nationals were spotted filming the entire incident. These individuals were detained by police, but it isn't known whether they have any connection with the gunman. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says Saudi Arabia needs to step up and provide compensation for the victims' families.
We have fatalities, but we also have people who are wounded. Some, like the Escambia deputies, look like they're going to be okay. Some are still in surgery, so we're praying hard for those folks. I think there's obviously going to be a lot of questions about, this individual being a foreign national, being a part of the Saudi Air Force, and then to be here training on our soil to do this. And the FBI is working with DOD, they're working with FDLE, they're working with the Escambia County Sheriffs to answer those questions. One of the things that I talked to the president about is, given that this was a foreign national in the employ of a foreign service, is and there'll be time to do this, but obviously the government of Saudi Arabia needs to make things better for these victims, and I think that they are going to owe a debt here, given that this is one of their individuals.
We're in a recovery mode right now. This is going to be a lengthy investigation. Do not expect quick answers.
Iran has released a detained Princeton University scholar in exchange for the U.S. releasing an Iranian scientist. The prisoner exchange, conducted in Zurich, Switzerland, marks a rare diplomatic breakthrough between Tehran and Washington after months of tensions. It comes as Iran still faces crushing American sanctions and nationwide protests that reportedly left more than 200 people dead. Groups of protesters hurled flares, smashed store windows, and set fires in eastern Paris today amid mass strikes over the government's retirement reform, which will result in citizens having to work longer to collect pensions. Paris has deployed 6,000 police. Most French trains are at a standstill, schools are closed, and Eiffel Tower officials are warning visitors to stay away as unions hold nationwide strikes and protests. Recapping one of our top news stories, police continue to investigate a shooting at Naval Air Station Pensacola in Florida, where 3 people were shot dead. A U.S. official says the gunman had hosted a dinner party earlier in the week to watch videos of mass shootings. And to look at weekend weather, we are in for some more of the white stuff, with 5 to 10 centimeters of snow expected this evening and overnight, along with a north wind gusting from 30 to 50 and a low of -11. The snow should end late tomorrow morning, then clearing with a high of -9, and the wind will shift to southwesterly, gusting from 20 to 40. It isn't uncommon to hear about those who suffer with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects a lot of our Canadian veterans. Hal Roberts discussed these challenges with Vance McGrath, retired warrant officer with the Canadian Armed Forces. That interview is next. But first, here's a look at what's happening in and around your community.
Here's your Bridge City News Community Calendar. An annual City Hall tradition continues with the Sounds of the Season concert series. Enjoy your favorite holiday classics performed by various local choirs and bands during the weeks leading up to Christmas. For more information and performance times, visit lethbridge.ca. The YWCA Lethbridge and District's annual Stockings of Hope campaign is underway until Monday, December 16th. Residents and businesses can stop by the YWCA to adopt the stocking and fulfill a Christmas wish by purchasing some or all of the gifts on the list, then return the gifts unwrapped to the YWCA by December 16th. For more information about this worthy cause, call 403-329-0088. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.